which means building questions. How to build questions? Well, you start with the modal, an auxiliary, then the subject, verb to be, main verb, complement, and then the agent, which is optional. Okay, so these are the subjects as you remember them, and this is how you start. You start using the auxiliaries or the modals. So, am I, can he, will she or may she, should it, ought you, must you, do we, had they, and then I complete the modals after the subjects. So I say, am I supposed to? Can he, will she, should it, ought you to, must you, do we have to, then had they better. You see? In building the questions, I had to separate the modals like this. And then I introduce verb to be, which stays the same. And then the example, the main verb, looked after, and then the agent. But this time with a question mark. Okay, so the questions are like this. Am I supposed to be looked after by a nurse? Okay, or should it be looked after by a nurse? Or do we have to be looked after by a nurse? And as you know, nurse, the agent, is optional. Let's have a quick task. Fill in the gaps in the following, and you have a mark of 6. Number 1, you have a gap about the precautions. You have to use a modal plus subject and the verb tell. You have 5 seconds. All right, let's check the answer. The answer is, do we have to be told? Do we have to be told? With have to, you have to start with do as an auxiliary. All right, give yourself a mark, and let's go to number 2. Gap of glass instead of plastic, question mark. In building this question, you need to use ought to, it, and make. You have 5 seconds. Okay, now let's check the answer. The answer is, ought it to be made, ought it to be made of glass instead of plastic. All right, give yourself a mark, and let's do number 3. Gap today, question mark. You have to use will, the tickets, and sell. 5 seconds. Okay, let's check the answer. The answer is, will all the tickets, okay, will the tickets or all the tickets be sold today? Be sold today. Now mark yourself of 6. That means 2 marks for each. And let's carry on. All right. Passive voice with modals, short answers. Okay, short positive answers. The positive word, as we know it, is yes. So you say yes, plus a comma, plus the pronoun, and then the auxiliaries. Okay, the auxiliaries, that are the modals. You say, yes, I am supposed to be. Okay, for I, say am. For we, say yes, we are supposed to be. Or it, yes, it is supposed to be. For can, yes, he can be. Yes, she will be, or yes, she may be. Yes, it should be. Yes, you ought to be. Yes, you must be. Yes, we do. Yes, they had better be. All right. So let's jump to the short negative answers. The negative word we start with is no. You say no plus the comma. Do not forget the comma. And then the pronouns. And then the same as before. Okay? Say no, I am not supposed to be. No, he cannot be. No, she will not be or may not be. No, it should not be. no, you ought not to be, no, you must not be, no, we do not, no, they had better not be. Okay, and plus we have contractions for them. For the first one, you do not abbreviate these two, but with cannot you say can't, with will not you say won't, and mayn't, should not, shouldn't, oughtn't to, or mustn't, or don't. All right, forming the past participle. I believe it is very important for you to understand that forming the past participle is essential in building the passive voice. So we have two types. The first type is regular verbs. The rule is simple. You add ed to the verb, like the examples. You say play, you add ed, becomes in the past participle. Played. Visit, visited. Call, called. Now this is easy, but we have the irregular verbs. Okay, the rule, there is no rule. Every verb is special. For example, be becomes been, it changes. Break becomes broken, it changes. Fall, falling. Bring, brought. Cost stays the same, cost. So there is a list you have to remember. All right, forming the past participle. Now, if you open a dictionary or if you go online, you will find the table similar to this. Base form, present simple, past participle, and present participle. So let's have a quick example, do. So the base form of do is do, but in the present simple, you'll find do and does. Does for he, she, it. Past simple, did. Past participle is done. And the present participle is verb plus ing. Okay? Then, second example, write. Write, writes, wrote, written, writing. Pay, pay, pays, paid, paid, paying. Now, we are going to focus on the past participle. You will have a list. You have to remember it to transform every single irregular verb into a passive voice. All right, let's go over task number 4. In your notebooks, answer the following. A, transform the sentences to passive voice with modals. And you have a mark of 4. Number 1, we can use projectors to give presentation. You say, projectors can be used to give presentations. All right? So, this is your task. Number 2, at night, we should take photos with a flash. 3, someone has to tell her supervisor that she is taking a time off. 4, we will introduce the new software soon. 5, someone had better teach the staff how to use it. Now, transform these, just like I did, into passive voice. And you have 3 minutes. Now let's go over the model answer. For a second example, at night, comma, photos should be taken with a flash. 3. Her supervisor has to be told that she is taking a time off. 4. The new software will be introduced soon. 5. The staff had better be taught how to use it. Now mark yourself and let's carry on. Task number 6. In your notebooks, answer the following. B. Question. Write 4 sentences with passive voice with modals using the following. And you have a mark of 8. Number 1. Positive sentences. My mom ought to drive